Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Today I want to talk about a device that I purchased through rcjuice.com. It's a battery discharger and analyzer. It's a BD-200 is the model of that. I have done a review on an AOCODA 150W. That works great. It's a $20 item to help you discharge your batteries. It takes a little bit of time for the fully charged pack to come down. So the majority of my planes are electric. I think I got 2 or 3 nitro ones, and I don't really fly them. So most everything I have is electric powered, and I'm starting to get 6S packs. When I was using just 3S packs, it was no big deal. Batteries are pretty cheap, so you don't got to worry about necessarily trying to stretch them out to last 2 or 3 years. But when you get into your 6S packs, as you know, those are a little bit of money. You can easily spend over $100 for a good quality, high capacity 6S pack. So in order to help preserve those, I wanted to go ahead and invest in this discharger here. This is normally around 89 bucks. I got it on sale through RC Juice. It was $69.99. Free shipping was on the ticket as well. I've tried it out a couple of times already, and I got to tell you, I am really digging on this. It is adjustable on the amount of volts, of course, depending on the pack that you're using, and also the amps. How much load are you going to put on it? You know, your typical battery charger, most of them anyway, will only discharge batteries at 1 amp. All right, that's a good slow pace. But if you've got a half a dozen batteries to drain, you're going to be there hours and hours and hours and hours to get all of your batteries discharged. What happens invariably, I'll charge up packs the night before I'm going to go fly, and then something will come up. It'll rain, or I'll get tasked with a honeydew list or something like that, and I just have to skip the flight. And I think, well, I'll leave them charged because I'm going to go that afternoon or the next day, and invariably I just, you know, get where I don't fly, and then the batteries are just sitting there, and that'll cause your batteries to puff. Leaving them charged up all the time. It puts additional wear on them. It'll cause your IR readings to go up, and it just overall shortens the life of your battery. You really want to keep them at a discharge setting 3.7, 3.8, somewhere around that neighborhood on your LiPo packs per cell. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. All right, it's got one single knob in the front. It has a connection port over here for your battery to plug in. It uses an XT60 is what's built into the device. You can of course use adapters if you got batteries with different plugs on them. Nothing on this side except a heat sink. It's got a cooling fan on the top of it, and it does have a USB connection port right here. There's 2 steps in there. There's a firmware that you can put onto the device, and then there's also some software that you can put onto your computer. And that software will help track your battery's usage, how many amps it was discharged at, etc., etc. Now, I misspoke. I actually did get the firmware to upgrade on it, but I was not able to get the software to load on the computer. So that's the part that's missing. It's really easy to use. Everything is self-contained. Your battery is what supplies the power. Just plug it into the port and push the knob one time. That turns it on. First thing, it'll be flashing over here at your voltage. This is the voltage that you want your battery to store down to. I find that using 3.7 is a good start. 3.7 per cell. So we'll put that at 14.8. Bear with me, I'm trying to do this reading it upside down, so it's a little bit tough. Alright, so there we are, 14.8 volts. That's where I want my discharge voltage at that. That's 3.7 times 4 cells. Push it one time on the button, and that changes you over to your amps. Now you can drain the batteries up to 30 amps. Now I typically will use 15 amp to 20 amp. The more amps you plug through here, the tougher time your battery is going to get. In other words, the harder it is on the battery. because you're putting a higher workload through it, or drain off through it. So I find putting it on 15 to 20 amps is sufficient. 30 amps if you're really in a hurry, you've got a lot of packs, fine. But let's just go with a 20 amp for now. Alright, 20 amps. Push it again and hold it, and that'll make it start. And then the readings over here will go from how many volts it's draining off to your target, and over here is flashing to tell you how many amps it's pulling down. And we'll just let that sit there and run. It'll take, I will actually start a stopwatch on it. Alright, we got a stopwatch going. We'll add about 30 seconds to it on whatever the final reading is, because it took me a few seconds to get the stopwatch going. Now we'll pause the video here and I'll start it back up as soon as it finishes off. You can see the light came in on the top of it here. The fan came on to help draw the heat down off of your heat sinks. And my personal experience on this, using around 15 amps, it would take about 8 minutes to discharge a completely charged 6S pack. So this is a 4S Admiral Pro that we're going to go with, and we'll see how it does. There's also exhaust that comes out of the side right here as well. So make sure with whatever you have sitting there is not blocking it off on the side when you're using it. Alright, stand by, and when it finishes I will come back on. Alright, so coming back on, you can see it's at 14.85. We had it targeted down to 14.80, so it should just be a couple more seconds. 3 minutes 41 seconds is the count on the stopwatch so far. Alright, and there it is, it's over with. So we were at 3 minutes 45 seconds. Add in another 30 seconds that it took me to get the timer started up, and we'll call that about 4 minutes and 15 seconds, somewhere around there, to discharge a pack completely. I will unplug it, and we'll go ahead and plug it into a volt checker. Let's see if I can get this over here closer. Get it to focus here. And we're at 3.83 to 3.84. So you want to experiment around with your settings on here that you're going to use. I like I said, I used 3.7. You may actually want to dial that down to 3.65 or so if you want to get your battery back down to a solid 380. This in here again is 3.83 to 3.85, anywhere in between there. So there it is. That's the SKYRC BD-200. $69 on sale. I have seen them out there at other sites, Banggood and places like that, that it's going to be comparable in the pricing. However, Banggood, you're on your own on your shipping on that. Unless you pay for a tracking number, good luck on it. I've got stuff that I ordered in June from them that still hasn't arrived. When I say June, I'm talking like the first day of June, last couple of days of May, and still isn't here yet. So I can highly recommend this right here if you have a lot of batteries to go through and you want to keep them stored in tip-top condition. Now, heat-wise, battery is a little bit warm because we were draining it down at a target of 20 amps. And you can see that as the battery volts went down, so did the amperage draw to compensate for it. So, good little device. Can't recommend it enough. So, there it is. rcjuice.com came through with that device, and I highly recommend that you give them a try. And when you make an order, just go ahead and shoot a confirmation email to him if you want. Reach out to John, he's the owner there, and seems like a pretty squared away guy. Thanks for watching.